Ever pondered if your consciousness plays a role in shaping reality? Perhaps quantum physics has some answers. Welcome to a realm where science meets philosophy, and reality is not as concrete as it appears. We're about to delve into the enigmatic world of quantum physics, a universe that operates beyond the ordinary laws of nature we're familiar with. It's a place where particles exist in multiple places at once, where the future can affect the past, and where reality itself seems to hinge on observation. What's more, there's a fascinating intersection with another profound mystery: consciousness. This elusive phenomenon that allows us to experience and interpret the world around us might be more powerful than we could ever imagine. Could it be that our very act of observing, of being conscious, is what brings reality into existence? Buckle up for a fascinating journey into the world of quantum physics and consciousness. Our exploration begins with a peculiar experiment that flips our understanding of reality on its head. In the realm of quantum physics, one experiment stands out: the double-slit experiment. This experiment is a peculiar demonstration of how the world at the tiniest level behaves in ways that defy our everyday logic. Imagine we have a device that can fire particles like electrons one at a time. We aim them at a barrier with two slits, expecting the electrons to pass through either one slit or the other, just as tennis balls would. On the other side, we have a detector screen to catch these electrons. Now, if we cover one slit, the detector reveals a pattern consistent with particles, a single band of hits. However, when both slits are open, instead of just two bands corresponding to the two slits, we get an interference pattern, a series of light and dark bands, as if the electrons are behaving like waves and interfering with each other. Here comes the weird part. This wave-like pattern appears even when we fire the electrons one by one. It's as if each electron, when faced with two open slits, goes through both and interferes with itself. But wait, it gets stranger. What if we try to peek and determine which slit the electron really goes through? When we set up a device to observe the electrons, the interference pattern vanishes, replaced by the particle-like two-band pattern. It's as if the electrons know they are being watched and decide to behave like particles. This tells us that the act of observing or measuring affects what we see. The electron behaves as both a particle and a wave, depending on whether it's being observed or not. It's not that the electron is a particle that sometimes acts like a wave, or a wave that sometimes acts like a particle, but rather it's both at the same time, until we look. So it seems an observer's presence can influence the behavior of particles. This strange outcome of the double-slit experiment opens up a world of questions about the nature of reality and the role of consciousness in shaping it. Dive deeper into the quantum world and you'll meet a concept called superposition. This isn't your everyday physics. It's a realm where particles can be in multiple places at once, where something can simultaneously be and not be. Welcome to the enigma of superposition. In the everyday world, an object can be at one place at a time. But in the quantum realm, things are different. Particles exist in a state of superposition, which means they inhabit all of their possible states at once. It's as if they are everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. Imagine a coin that is spinning so fast that it's both heads and tails at the same time. That's what superposition is like in the quantum world. But here's where things get really interesting. These multiple states continue to exist until something happens to collapse the superposition. And what causes this collapse? It's observation. Yes, simply observing a particle can collapse the superposition and force the particle into one state or the other. The act of observing, of consciously acknowledging the particle, seems to force it to choose a state. It's like our spinning coin coming to rest. As long as it's spinning, it's both heads and tails. But as soon as we look at it, the spinning stops, and the coin is either heads or tails, not both. The observation has forced a decision. This is the paradox of quantum mechanics, the riddle that has puzzled scientists for more than a century. How does the simple act of observation change the state of a particle? And why does a particle exist in all possible states until it is observed? It's as if the universe holds its breath, waiting for the observer to create a reality from the multiple possibilities. So, the act of observation seems to create a definite reality from multiple possibilities. This is the mystery of superposition and observation, a mystery that takes us to the edge of our understanding and asks us to question the very nature of reality itself. Does this mean that our consciousness, by observing, creates reality? Let's delve into this fascinating hypothesis. Imagine the universe as a vast ocean of possibilities, where everything exists in a state of potentiality. This is the realm of quantum superposition, where particles exist in multiple states at once. But when we cast our gaze upon this ocean, when we observe, something extraordinary happens. The wave of possibilities collapses into a single definite reality. This is the intriguing suggestion from quantum physics, that consciousness, through the act of observation, is what collapses the quantum wave function. In other words, our conscious observation brings about the reality we experience. It's as if the universe is a cosmic play, and we're not just audience members but active participants, shaping the narrative with our observations. Consider this: when we're not looking, when there's no observer, only probabilities exist. It's a mind-bending concept, isn't it? It implies that the physical world around us, with its concrete details and tangible objects, is not a standalone, objective reality. Instead, it emerges from a nebulous cloud of probabilities, guided into form by our conscious observation. But what does this mean for us? Well, it's a radical shift in perspective. It suggests that we're not passive inhabitants of a pre-existing reality. Instead, we're active creators, partaking in the formation of the reality we engage in. It's a perspective that places consciousness at the center of the universe as the driving force behind the manifestation of physical reality. This isn't a claim to be taken lightly. It's a profound idea that challenges our conventional understanding of the world. It's also a notion that's still under exploration, a frontier in our ongoing quest to understand the nature of reality and our place within it. Yet it's a hypothesis that offers a tantalizing possibility: that our conscious minds have a far more significant role in shaping our experiences than we've ever imagined. Is reality, then, a product of our conscious observation? It's a question that invites us all to ponder, to explore, and perhaps even to redefine our understanding of reality itself. This idea isn't just limited to quantum physics. It finds echoes in spiritual beliefs, too. From time immemorial, spiritual traditions around the globe have held that consciousness or spirit is fundamental, and the physical world is a manifestation of this primary consciousness. Let's consider Hindu philosophy, for instance. The concept of Maya, or illusion, suggests that the world we perceive through our senses is not the ultimate reality, but a creation of our consciousness. Similarly, in Buddhism, the concept of sunyata, or emptiness, posits that phenomena do not exist independently, but are interdependent and contingent on consciousness. Now let's take a leap from the East to the West. In Christian mysticism, the idea of God is often interpreted as an infinite consciousness, with the physical world being a manifestation of this divine consciousness. But it's not just ancient spiritual wisdom that points to this. Modern spiritual teachers echo similar sentiments. Eckhart Tolle, for instance, speaks of the power of now, emphasizing that the present moment, experienced through consciousness, is the only true reality. So what happens when we put these spiritual perspectives alongside the findings of quantum physics? The parallels are striking. The observer effect in quantum physics, where the act of observation changes the outcome, resonates with the spiritual belief that our conscious attention gives shape to our reality. And what about superposition? The idea that all possibilities exist until observed? Doesn't it echo the spiritual notion of infinite potentiality, the belief that all possibilities exist in the field of consciousness until we choose to manifest one? The meeting point of quantum physics and spirituality, then, suggests a radical idea. Maybe reality isn't something that exists out there, independent of us. Perhaps it's something we actively create through our consciousness. Could consciousness, then, be the primary source of all material reality? As we delve deeper into the quantum realm, we find ourselves grappling with questions that philosophers and spiritual seekers have pondered for centuries. And while we may not have definitive answers yet, the journey of exploration itself is a testament to the infinite potentiality of the human spirit. Quantum physics, while complex, offers a fresh perspective on reality. In this exploration, we've delved into the enigmatic double-slit experiment, unraveling how particles can exist in all possible states at once, a concept known as superposition. But when observed, these particles collapse into one configuration, suggesting that the act of observation influences the outcome. Then, we hopped onto the notion that the observer, or consciousness, might be the reality creator. A bold concept, isn't it? The act of observing, of being aware, could very well be the thread that weaves the fabric of our reality. We've also drawn parallels between these quantum theories and spiritual beliefs, hinting at a universe where consciousness is primary and the physical world, a manifestation of it. While it's speculative, it's certainly thought-provoking. Could consciousness be the immaterial source of all material reality?